What is going on, pirates? Good morning, good day, good afternoon, whenever you happen to see this or watch this or listen to this on a podcast. Follow the podcast too. I just want to make sure that you have this information because interesting people doing interesting things allows us to actually help you and help more people. Because my mission in life is to help more people, help more people. And I want to bring to you uh, an interesting character that I've known. He's a pirate already, Mohawk Denny, Mohawk Matt Denny. And we've got some things to talk about transformation, entrepreneurship, and getting things done. So let's dive into it. Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. Hey, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, Ross? As always, happy to be here.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we last connected, and I just I saw you pop up, and sounds like you got some things going on and transformation in your life. So I thought it would be a good idea to target this concept that a lot of entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, that they start up, they think, well, I'm going to go do this thing, and a lot of times freelancers or solo artists, they just replace their job. Then their goal is to replace their income or double their income or whatever their goals might be. And just the freedom of having that flexibility really is important. That's important to me. Do you feel the same way?
I do. There's a lot of that during this transformation we're going through. There's so much chaos and unknown. One could think like I'm miserable, but the freedom that it's created, getting away from the traditional 9 to 5. And now I didn't quit the 9 to 5 to work less hours because we all know you actually work 4 a.m. to midnight as an entrepreneur. But it's that freedom is the whole reason we did it. It's the reason I left my government career of 14 years. It's the reason why we're working on moving into an RV and going around the country, having the freedom to be where we want to be when we want to be there.
Yeah.
That freedom piece is just powerful.
It is incredibly powerful. And so as we go through this transformation, one of the things that, you have on your LinkedIn profile is the Battle of Bureaucracy. And as an entrepreneur, you kind of have to look at it at a different way. It's like you have to actually navigate through it, over it, around it. And because there's always going to be somebody that's going to present a resistance in your world. So how are you holding up around that new model?
It's a struggle. As I think on my LinkedIn it says Bureaucracy Slayer, which is the title I got from doing a 1-day procurement in the Navy, which is hard. But going from being inside, it's I like the way you put it, because it's not about just like battling bureaucracy and just pushing the resistance away or barreling through. It's really a lot of evaluation of why is it there and understanding how to navigate it. And navigating bureaucracy in a big system and organization from the inside is difficult in its own way. Navigating it now, trying to find ways to have the conversations to make them a client or offer a service or help them with their problems is a completely different kind of battle. Similar model where we're going into the arena, but now I have to go a little bit more equipped. Where before I could go a little more Kool-Aid man and barrel through the brick wall.
Yeah.
But now I kind of have to do a little bit more evaluation of like, okay, they get this all the time. They're used to people talking to them saying they can fix their problem. How do I approach it differently than anyone that's ever talked to them? And how do I offer my services or offer what we do differently than anyone that offers it? Close enough that they feel familiar, but different enough that they're like, oh, this actually is maybe what we're looking for. So it's a balance.
Yeah. And I think for myself, especially in this kind of environment, doing shows and providing services for strategy on, content creation.
Mhm.
And people have to have a relationship with you. And I think, inside a large organization, you have at least some level of impact because you're in the organization. You have, there's already a level of understanding of what you're capable of doing. And when you're independent and, a freelancer or an entrepreneur, you have to build up that trust, like, and trust factor. And you really have to start that early and build relationships. So
Yeah.
is that something you're spending a little time doing?
It's what I'm spending a lot of time doing. I'm spending more time on relationships right now than I am billable work because, and I mean, you do what you need to do,
Hmm.
but that relationship piece is everything. It's and having to actually rely on, I've never had to rely on that before. As a career civilian, and I was a Marine, and I always had a job, somebody that was looking out for me saying, you will do this today, or you will do this for a month.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, I'll do this today, and then there might not be anything tomorrow unless unless I have that relationships and have those conversations. Just like right now, I came in town for some unpaid networking, but I know what it could potentially go into. And
Right.
so it's finding those opportunities. And there has to be that balance though of like really not wasting your time. And I don't mean wasting your time with bad people, but
Hmm.
the wrong thing for you. And so you kind of have to have like some navigations. One thing that I did um, to kind of help control the all the different things and help manage my time, I learned from our friend Steve Sims was actually um, put a cost barrier on my time. So anyone that's approaching me just from the outside to hear about me, we've never talked. I
Hmm.
actually had to put a cost barrier to say it's $200 to talk to me for 30 minutes. And if I'm building a relationship, working a potential client, I'm not really going to do that. I'll send them the other link that just has access. But
Hmm.
the great power that that's done is it's helped weed out the like things that weren't for me, the people that weren't really interested in me or my time. They just maybe saw the mohawk and they saw what I was doing with some super high people in the government, so they wanted access to them. So it's kind of created like a great little barrier to like weed out that stuff, and so I could really focus on the relationships that matter from a personal side and a business side. But to your original question, relationships is the job. There is
Yeah.
I happen to do other things, but it is relationships. It is people.
Yeah. Hey, I want to give a shout out to James. James is in the room. Russ
What's
Johns,
up,
greeting.
James?
Hey, what's going on? Elizabeth, uh,
Hey,
let's jump in early today, Liz. Let's jump in early. I haven't responded to your email, but I will later today. Denise from
hey,
Houston,
Denise. Yeah,
how's it going? Love to catch up. Uh, the relationship that you can build by putting content out there, putting good work out there, continuing to show up, it um, it has to be part of your process. It
yeah,
has to be a consistency in place that so people know that you're going to show up today, you're going to show up tomorrow, you're going to show up next week, and you're going to do some great work. And also, the thing about it is you have to get crystal clear on what you're helping them deliver.
yeah.
What is it that you're actually assisting and supporting them in? So share us share a little bit about what you're focusing on now and what that magic dust is, that secret sauce that you're providing out there, that pirate magic,
There
the
you go.
pirate treasure.
Uh, I love the way you put that because it is so critical to like be targeted in what you do. Because as I got out in September I can say got out, left the bureaucracy to create
Hmm.
my own. I was like, I'm going to do this and this and this, and then I was like, actually, I don't do any of those things. I was seduced by things I thought I wanted to do, and it's only been the last month that we actually got really clear on like, and it was on accident. Things we were offering, people weren't grabbing. We had these services, and they're like nothing, crickets. And
Yeah.
then somebody asked like, hey, do you do like, you're really good at the videos and podcasts and like interviewing and talking to people and your energy. Do you teach that? Do you help us like find our brand and help find a voice? And I was like, yeah, I could do that because that's what I do. And without even telling anyone that's a service we offered, like in the universe, I'm a big believer of manifestation. When we manifested that was something that we did and started writing it together, within a week, we got 5 calls that said, hey, do you do this? Hey, is this? And so it was finding that. So once we found that, it's just starting to like, oh, this is one of the things we should be offering. So
Yeah.
really for us, my wife and I created our own company, which is a whole new level of bureaucracy to understand how that works. All the LLCs and taxes and everything. So that's a journey. Had to hire some help to help with that. But as we've done that, we've created what's called Denlin Group, and Denlin Group really offers. It's Denny, my last name, my wife's first name, Lindy, but we offer 3 main things, and now it's that podcast production, but not from just a management stage, from a brand development stage, from a how can we help your company find your voice, whether it's you personally, whether it's you as a company, so that my goal is that when you go to a conference or something that's in your realm as a company, as a person, that you don't have to go talk to them because they know who you are, because you've built credibility through shows, through content, through different things. So when you're going into rooms, they already know what to expect because of this voice, this brand that you've built. So it's a lot of things around that kind of stuff. There's the social media and different things other people offer too. My wife's really good at the TikTok stuff. So that's kind of a leg that we're pushing her toward, or getting. She has, she has building clients like the home building industry. And now she's breaking more into my world of DoD stuff and just anyone really. And then the other 2 offerings are I do government consulting because I was in for 13, 14 years as a Marine and then as a Navy civilian. And so I know how to get a contract. So I know how to help somebody. I want to do business with the Navy. The Marine Corps is like, they don't speak English. It's like, but I speak their language. So let me know. And that was something on accident too. It wasn't someone was like, I'm going to go be a consultant and just like, it was just like, hey, you know how to do this. Can you help me? I was like, oh, I do. Cool. And it just became a thing. And the third thing is kind of the design workshop side of like getting in with teams, doing some on the fly problem solving. How do we get from here to here, map it out, and then build a process around that to make that team successful. Those are some of the major things I did in the government as well, which I've done for many years. But now that we've refined those 3 things, everything is getting clear. Everything starts to like, I can start to navigate that bureaucracy better instead of like, and 2, I've learned in this entrepreneur journey, the less I try to micromanage what I think I want to do, the better it works out.
Yeah.
At first I was like, no, I don't want to have that conversation because I don't want to do that. I want to go here. I want to do that. But as I just start to accept and say, yeah, let's have a call. Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's how I ended up on the side of a NASCAR. I don't know if you saw that when my face got put on the side of a NASCAR last fall.
No. That's awesome.
For this veteran project that we're doing. And it was just in the right place and just started saying yes and helping some people, and you never know where you're going to end up.
Sometimes saying yes is the best thing you can do, and sometimes saying no is the best thing you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Experience tells you when to say it, though. It's
true. True.
And also, hey, I want to give, because Liz says saying no is a huge skill and valuing time.
Yes.
Hey, give a shout out to Gabe. Gabe and I were having a great conversation along the same subject last night, and we have a lot to be thankful for. We have a lot to be thankful for, and it's just a matter of sometimes you have to create enough to understand what you enjoy creating.
Yes.
And you have to allow things to drop off and fall off and not necessarily do as much as you used to do. So, yes. And Elizabeth says, yes, getting clear energizes us and the universe. Gabe says, awesome to hear, Matt Mohawk Denny. Love the journey and the path you are on. Absolutely.
Thanks,
and good morning, fellow pirates. Howard Kaufman. Yep. Sometimes you have to go slow to go fast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Liz says, yeah, cool veteran project. So we got, this is the thing that I love about what we do. And one of the things that we have an opportunity to create, and I say this all the time, and I'm sure people get tired of me saying this, but we're living in an amazing time where we can actually connect. You're in Utah, I'm
Yeah.
in Arizona, you're normally on the East Coast and
Hmm.
elsewhere and traveling around, but we have an opportunity to have a conversation and actually
Yeah.
share that conversation with a number of people that are going through the same exact thing we are. And that
So
to
true.
me speaks volumes about the ability to put yourself out there and be exposed to saying, well, what can I learn? What can I learn from this experience? So what's one of the things that surprised you as you left the DoD and jumped into the real world of entrepreneurship and figuring this thing out?
Two major things is you don't know what you don't know, and there's so much of the unknown in the building a business. Actually, like you may have friends, but now how do you turn like, oh yeah, we support you. Oh great, you want to support my business? No. So it's like you don't know how it all works, and you see, and it's not that people around you at the before were bad people, because now it's just a different side of life. It's a different side of like what they see you involved in. And the biggest thing behind that is like I was a big proponent for years, and I have been my whole brand, my whole life about just starting, doing whatever you can to get started. Don't care what other people think. And just kind of live whatever your best truth is, whatever that is. That's where a
Hmm.
lot of the be awesome comes from.
Yeah.
But as I got out, I had a lot of freedom before where I could make content, I could do this and that because it didn't matter because I had a paid job.
Yeah.
And then when I first got out a few months ago of the big system, doing our own thing, I got in my head of like, oh no, I have to do content that makes me money and I have to talk about this. I have to talk about myself and make this job. And in some ways you do in the right place, but only as a couple of weeks ago, I had this epiphany of like, dude, you're not yourself right now. You kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. Like
Mm.
you need to get back on the Mohawk train and be awesome guy that you are. Because for a lot of people, those kinds of personas are a mask, and for me, it was the opposite. For me,
Yeah.
once I found that, that really is who I've always been. It just allows me to just live that truth. And so, really, the learning side has been that reminder of like what you're doing and what you think other people are saying about you. They're probably not. You're spending so much time worrying about how people see you, what they say, and they're worried about their own life. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care. Even if they say something, does it really matter? So for me, that big lesson in the last few months has been a reminder of like, just do you, be
Yeah.
you. And that's what's going to attract people. Be you in your content, be you online, be you in your friendships, on the train, on the bus, on the plane. That sounds like a Dr. Seuss rhyme there. Um, but just
Your
be
next
you.
book.
Yeah, there you go. Just be you, and that's everything else is going to work out. And it may not be what you thought it was.
Yeah.
And that's the big second lesson was just let the universe guide you to where you're supposed to be. Like,
Yeah.
don't be so rigid and like, this is where I'm going to be because that's where I was. A few months ago, I was like, no, I want this. No, I want this. And once I was just like, all right, just take over. And I just started having the conversations we're supposed to have. And now we're a light years away from where I thought we'd be, but it's everywhere we want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes putting your own constraints on what needs to happen is a limitation,
Yeah.
not a target, right?
Yeah.
Rex Powers is in the room.
What's
Rex,
up, Rex?
we got to talk, Rex. Good morning, America. The world is our oyster. Absolutely. Joseph, what's going on?
Morning.
Another pirate in the room.
Yeah.
This this journey that we're on is in 2022 especially feels, we've got to kind of go through the cycle. It feels like we're coming out of something, knock on wood. And the reality is that we have a lot of movement. A lot of things have changed. A
Yeah.
lot of people have gone through this cycle of, I don't know that I need to do this anymore. I don't know that I want to do this anymore. And I'm going to go over here and do something else, just like yourself. And as you step back and you realize, I don't necessarily have to do A, B, and C to get to 1, 2, and 3. And I can actually relax and be myself and know that the people that want to work with me are going to show up, because there's a certain amount of, that universe, that effect working in your behalf. Like, hey, Matt needs to work with somebody. He needs to be a pirate and connect with Russ, because we got some projects in the future that are going to happen. And just the conversations that take place allow us to generate some additional conversations that are going to take care of us in the future.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see how that unfolds. Have you had that experience? Just all of a sudden something will pop up, like you said, do you do this? And you could say, yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And like all the things that there's the sides of like all the things I do know how to do. I just never thought of doing them. And then there's the things of like, hey, do you offer this? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I end the call or leave that
You have
person.
friends.
Yeah. And then I start making calls like, hey, how do you do this? How did you get successful doing this?
Yeah.
And you just adapt and start taking it over. But I think there's a very valuable piece there. There's a point to like take on things to help people the way you can. But then I also think it's to the no point. There's also the right stage where you see like, I could help you here, but I'm actually going to pull back on this one and introduce you to Russ or introduce you to Liz, because they can help you better. Because at the end of the day, my goal, I have two purposes in life. It is, and I just forgot them. I don't know. I'm like a horrible person. It's a little early, I guess. I'm used to the East Coast.
You need another cup of coffee, brother.
I know, clearly.
So Liz says you missed the wonder of the moment if rigid. Absolutely. Usama, hello everybody. And the living legend Russ Johns in the house. Great to see you, buddy. What's going on? He says hello, Matt. Matt's here.
I just remembered what I was going to say.
I knew it would come back to you. I thought I'd give you some time.
Appreciate that. So for me, my two purposes are: one, help people find their voice. I had experiences in my life in the Marine Corps that put me in situations where I was going through a lot of negative stuff. And it wasn't until I realized that I went through all of that so that I could help people be their voice and help find their voice, because I'm not shy. And I've been trained for years to be a journalist, broadcaster, all this stuff. And so I can help people find their voice, whether it's personally or as an organization. And then two, it's bring joy into the lives of others. And that's where I apply to my businesses now that we're doing is, am I going to bring you joy if I try to fake to do something that I may not know how to do? And maybe I can make some money off it. Maybe it can be successful, but maybe I just say, hey, I'm actually going to pass this one off. And that's been a thing to like, oh yeah, I can do what I can do. And sure, raise my hand. But then I'm like, myself up at 3 a.m. This isn't me. I don't actually like this.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay to accept and pass things to the right people, even if maybe you need it at the right time. Because what I've learned as I've done that, I pass it to Gary, Sally, made up names. And then a couple weeks later, hey, I got something for you. Oh, hey, I don't know how to do this. Call Matt. And it's just that relationship. You build the relationships before you need the relationship.
Yeah.
And
the other piece of that, and I think it's a great point you bring up, is you just have to get crystal clear and build clarity around what you enjoy doing, what brings you joy, and let everything else go. Because people think when they first get into this process, they're worried about paying the bills. So, they have to be concerned about attracting an income or revenue of some sort, right?
Yeah.
So you're pulling in everything. And then you realize that thing that you brought on and you said you could do took you 3 times longer than if you had handed off to somebody else. And it's sucking up the time that you could have spent on something you actually enjoy.
Yeah.
So, it's a complete balance. I want to come back to this. Rex and I have been working on a couple of projects on the .live space, because the .live space is going to blow up.
Yeah.
And Mohawk Matt would be a great partner for Let's Talk Vets .live,
Let's do
which
it.
is not live. However, it's in the works, and we're going to be creating some verticals around industries and topics to build communities around these subjects. And I think that there's a huge opportunity in the vet space. There's a opportunity in a number of different categories. And as this model gets developed, what we want to do is bring other producers in, other personalities in to interview and build shows around that. So let's make sure that we open up the conversation.
Definitely. I look forward to it. Anything with vets, I'm in.
And amen. Creative joy is my mission. Absolutely. The thing about it, Matt, and I think you said it so well, is like, let's just find out what we enjoy. And my mission is to help more people. It's not about how much money I can make. There's not a value on what we can do, because money is a symptom of adding value. When you help people do something great and they're in alignment with what you're doing and they love and support you, money is not the issue. Money is the symptom of doing great work and adding value. And I think a lot of people miss that point. And I'm one that I don't think about it top of mind, and which is probably a fault of mine. But I'm learning. I'm still learning, and I will continue to learn till
we're all learning.
till I keep going up. So, Osama says, "Love your devotion, my man, Matt Mohawk Denny." Absolutely, absolutely. Rex Powers says, "This guy is a talent for sure." Absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks, Rex.
So let's keep the party going and make sure that we have people like this joining the movement to actually create great work, positive results, and outcomes. So, where are you headed next? What's the next 6 to 8 months look like for you?
So next 6 to 8 months, we will be on either a converted school bus or a RV that we're both maybe buying or looking for sponsors if people want to partner with that. In a sense, and this bus is a couple things. One, we want to live in to have the freedom to be in Texas for a month, be in Arizona for a month, go here, go there. And this remote work environment is so beautiful that we can go anywhere these days. But the real purpose behind the bus is, and we kind of partnered with this NASCAR team, hence why I ended up on the car for their 1111 veteran project of like helping connect people to resources. But like back to my earlier point of my mission in life or purpose in life is helping others find their voice. And it's being on the road, connecting to veterans, knee to knee. As vets, we're extremely arrogant and stubborn. Like, I don't need help. I'm fine. I don't need anything. Yeah. But I've gained this. One of my biggest superpowers is talking to people, just like you have. And so being able to talk, engage, and knee to knee with vets, their spouses, their wives, as my wife and I go around the country working with them, help them connect to the right resources. I keep telling her we should have a mohawk on the top of the bus. She keeps telling me no, but it'll definitely have my face on the side. And we're also going to have, I say first, may not know, so if someone knows, please correct me. But what I know in my research, the first rolling Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom memorial wall. So the bus on the side, we're going to have all the names of everyone that sacrificed their life during Iraq and Afghanistan, the past 20-year war. And I know some people have like trailers and a couple things like small walls have started to be created, but nothing like the Vietnam Wall. And so we're going to put that on so that we can, when we go somewhere, you can have that connection to that person maybe you knew or served with. And a lot of other things. That's really the big thing we're jumping into. And this other veteran project of helping vets get into trades. So my wife comes from the construction trade industry. And so we're working a project that I won't say the name yet because it's not trademarked, but I will soon. Helping vets go from their veteran career or their military career to into the construction trades, because you can make a good living building houses, drywalling, welding,
Oh yeah.
and it's just, but the skill bridge part isn't there, the training isn't there, unknown if it is there, and so we're really helping to guide that path as well. And those are the things I'll share, because the work stuff, it'll happen. Who knows? I could be doing 10 different things work wise, but those are things we're passionate about, and those are things we want to create and get to.
Wow. Well, I look forward to future conversations, Matt, because I know that there's a lot of things. Rex says, all vets have superpowers. And Usama says, yeah, Matt Mohawk Denny will certainly be a great guest for Be Strong 99.
Connect with me, Usama. I don't know what that is. Let's do it.
Yeah. Good morning and be blessed upon you, Rex Powers. This is the great thing about the Pirates. Rex Powers says, yeah, I'm in. And Daniel Hall says, peekaboo from Maryland, U.S. Daniel Hall is an awesome individual that's doing some great work as well. He's gonna join in the pirate community and support the Pirates. He's always been a great supporter. So great connection to have at any level at all.
That's great.
So Matt, thank you. Any last words of wisdom or any encouragement that you want to leave with the Pirates today?
All I will say is, one, thank you, Russ, for what you're doing. You're incredible and the things you're doing to help empower others. But two is, be awesome in the sense that you can be awesome. You control what your day looks like and what your mental state looks like, but also be the reason someone has an awesome day. You have that power to impact others. So go out, do whatever you're doing, and just be awesome and share it.
Be awesome. And you know why you want to be awesome? Because kindness is cool and smiles are free.
Yes.
And you enjoy the day. Don't go away, Matt.
You got it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.